Time to pay the bills again. Makes a woman feel like running. I keep a backpack by the door. You keep asking what that's for. Can't find a nice way to say you don't know who I am. I am. I am. You don't know who I am today. I am. I'm the one that got away. Maybe I'll roll out at dawn. Headlights off, radio on. The open road will take me back. You'll move on, you always have. We've all got our own hands to play. You don't know who I am. I am. I am. You don't know who I am today. I am. I'm the one that got away. Oh, yeah. I got my father's fight, my mother's appetite. I travel pretty light these days. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know who I am. I am. I am. You don't know. You don't know who I am today. I'm the one that got away. Why, thank you. What a joy it is to be here with the coolest folk music fans in Houston. I'm not pandering, it's a scientific fact that you guys are the coolest folk music fans in Houston. Do you know how I know that? Because you came to the late show. We're gonna be out past 9. Most of us aren't wearing pajamas. Getting wild and crazy in here. I wrote this song on a day off on tour after having a brief disagreement with someone about whether I should make scrambled eggs or fried eggs for breakfast. The moral of the story is, don't piss me off before I've had coffee. Or I'll sing about it for 10 years. If I've done you wrong, then just say so. If you want me gone, so it shall be. I fully admit it's a little overdramatic. If I stayed too long, darling, let me know. Just say so. Say so to me. I've slept all night for the first time in years. Closer to you than I knew I could be. Just say so. Say so to me. I've stayed up nights waiting for clarity. I knock on the door, no don't call. Desperate to hear you still care for me. You can't bear to be terribly shy. After all, if I done you wrong, then just say so. If you have moved on, I will leave you in peace. But if I'm still your woman, darling, let me know. Just say so. Say so to me. Please say so. Say so to me. Thanks. Thanks so much, y'all. My family moved to Georgia from D.C. in 1992, and I did not incorporate y'all into my vocabulary until about 3 years ago, when I decided that it's actually nice to have a gender-neutral, plural way to introduce groups of people. So, there we go. I lived in Austin for a good long time. I live out in the country now, but I like to pretend I still live in Austin. So back in my home in Austin, I wrote this next song while I was living in this like total crazy ass like hippie artist compound in the middle of town. This wonderful woman named Marianne bought 6 adjacent lots in 1980 for such a small number of dollars it would make you like cry. So I won't tell you specifically, but it was not a lot. And she put up a big fence around it, and she just started building stuff and putting up like bee colonies and chickens and gardens. And eventually, by the time I got there, she was just sort of like letting young artists live in these funky little houses she had built for cheap and, you know, pooling money to cover the taxes, basically. So it was a really magical time in my life when I got to live there. And the crazy thing is that I could go from having an empty house to a 12-person dinner party in like 11 minutes. Like, no exaggeration. Just like, hey, we got some pasta, we've got some sauce components, let's text a few people, and like the house would fill up. And there were musicians around, and our neighbor upstairs was like really great at like making beats and making videos, and he had a very casual video making style. So one night I had just written this song, and we sort of were having this impromptu dinner party, and one of my friends came, and he was a producer, and I told him I wanted to record a demo, and he was like, oh, cool, I'll just get my computer set up in the living room here. And then the guy from upstairs was like, well, I should film this. And next thing you know, by the end of the night, we had this like live performance video of like multi-camera edited, like gorgeous, with like, you know, a friend stopped by with a trumpet because someone's like, hey, Becca's playing a song, you should bring your horn. Another guy came and sang harmonies. He's like fabulous. It was just like the craziest night. I know there are people watching the show on the internet, so like don't stop watching this show, but later on the internet, denizens of the internet, you can find a really fun video of this song. This is called Lie. So much for good goodbyes. I mumble as you try to paint the door shut on your way. Thank y'all so much. So I lived in Georgia till the end of high school. And then I moved up to Boston for college. I was so eager to get on with my life. I went to summer school the year after 10th grade because I did little math on the back of a napkin and realized that you only needed 21 credits to graduate, and I already had 14 at the end of 10th grade. So if I took one summer school class, I could come back in the fall as a senior and get the hell out of there. All the adults were so pissed that I figured out the math. And they were like, but Becca, but college prep, but you need English too. And I was like, great, I'll take English in summer school too. How hard can it be? So I spent 6 weeks going to school 12 hours a day. And my mom was like, I guess she really wants it. And I came back as a senior, I applied to college, and 10 days after my 17th birthday, I moved 1,000 miles from home up to Boston, where I went to Berklee College of Music like a psychopath and got a degree in audio engineering and graduated from college at the ripe old age of 20. That's right, I was smart enough to get to Boston for college at 17, but not smart enough to get a fake ID for my entire 4 years of college. So I was the best behaved college student that town has ever seen. After I graduated, I took my audio engineering degree and worked as an audio engineer. I was a Pro Tools editor and a session engineer for about as long as it took me to realize that one of the perks of working at a recording studio is having the keys to a recording studio. So I started sneaking in at night, and, on my lunch breaks and on the weekends, and I would start recording my own songs. And once I had an album together, I was like, well, I guess I don't need this job anymore. I'm going on tour. And I started booking myself shows, and I use the word shows extremely loosely. I played all over the Eastern Seaboard, basically anywhere between Atlanta and Boston that would let me play songs in the building. I was playing at, restaurants and state fairs and open mics and living rooms and barns and, just anywhere I could. But all I knew is that when I was on the road playing songs for people, I felt more like myself. It just felt right. So all I wanted to do was figure out how to keep doing that. And I would go through this cycle where I'd, quit my job, give up all my stuff, go get in the car, drive around playing shows until I would just go flat broke, run out of money, completely faceplant, and crawl back home to whatever family member or friend would let me sleep on the couch or in the guest room for a while and get some weird job off Craigslist and gradually get myself a place to live and save up some money and then think, man, I should go on tour. And I'd go back out on the road and I'd be on the road for a few months and I'd think, what do I need that apartment back in Boston for? I don't need to be paying rent, I'm on the road. And I'd put all my stuff in storage and I'd be living in my station wagon and driving around the country playing shows, and then I would burn out completely, go flat broke, crawl back home with my tail between my legs, rinse and repeat. And that was about 2004 to 2010, I'm gonna say. It was a process that repeated itself quite a good many times. Until one day in late 2010, that was the year I moved to Texas, the year I moved to Austin. At the end of the year, I looked around and said, wait a minute. I haven't done an odd job off Craigslist for over a year, and I have an apartment, and I have health insurance. I think I'm a professional touring musician. I almost didn't want to say it out loud because I was afraid I was going to jinx it, but it's been 16 years now, so I think I can say my name is Rebecca Loebe. I'm a full-time touring singer-songwriter from Austin, Texas. And it is a real joy to sing songs for you guys tonight. This is a tune that I wrote about crawling home with your tail between your legs. I've been waiting for hours now on my homebound train. Got a cold cup of coffee and a lot to explain. Lake Louise. I've been riding for hours now on my homebound train, waiting, waiting, waiting till they call out your name. Thanks. So do any of you have like a complicated relationship with your cell phone? Anyone? I see some nodding. All right, great. That makes me feel a little less alone. I wrote a song for us. Everyone is having fun without me. Down the street at Twain's on trivia night, the same team keeps on winning that free bar tab. They clap and clink their glasses with delight. Everyone saw family at Thanksgiving, to golden hour shots in sweater sets, to pin beneath refrigerator magnets. From our family to yours, aren't we blessed? Grab the edges, choose the filter, go ahead and build your reality. In front of me, everyone has flown to Turks and Caicos, to live, to laugh, to love, to eat, to pray, to sun out in a chaise lounge by the ocean, someone's perfect office for the day. Grab the edges, choose the filter, go ahead and build your reality. I'll believe that everyone is having fun without me. So I'll arrange my room in a tableau, set up my best camera with good lighting. No one has to know. Thanks. 12 o'clock on the nightstand, flashing red and black on the morning after. He walked in and a bell rang above his head. He sat down and no one said nothing. We were both only there for one thing. Round about last call, I grabbed his arm and said, are you looking for somebody to to make you feel like somebody, make you feel like somebody, somebody you could love. 2 a.m. and my mind won't slow down, all alone in the blue light glow now. On and on and on and on and on I find, flying by in their finest poses. Everyone I have ever known is asking for about 1,000th time. Hey, are you looking for somebody to make you feel like somebody, make you feel like somebody, somebody you could love? 'Cause I'm looking for somebody to make me feel like somebody, make me feel like somebody, somebody, somebody I could love. Don't mind me, it's showtime, see, and I just need to know, are you looking for somebody to make you feel like somebody, make you feel like somebody, somebody you could love? 'Cause I'm looking for somebody to make me feel like somebody, make me feel like somebody, somebody, somebody I could love. If you're looking for somebody to make you feel like somebody, hey, I'm looking for somebody, somebody, somebody I could love. Actually, I think I wrote a whole record for us, all about how we all want to throw our cell phones in the ocean, but also we need them for directions. And weirdly, my meditation app is on it, so it's like it would maybe be a net neutral for my inner peace. I don't know. A few years ago, I had the good fortune of traveling, I don't need this capo, to Italy. I went to Sicily, and I've wanted to go there my entire life. Because when I was little, living up in D.C., my great-grandmother, Frances, was alive. Any of you know your great-grandma? Anyone? No? A few people knew their great-grandma. My great-grandma was 90, we think, when I was born. She wasn't super forthcoming about her age, and it was, before Facebook, so we couldn't check. But as far as we can tell, she was born in the late 1800s in Sicily. And as a 14-year-old, she traveled across the sea to live with her new husband, who had come back home to Sicily to select a wife, selected Frances, took her across the ocean, and she came to town. She had 5 children in 6 years, and then her husband died. So she was 20 years old, widowed with 5 children, and, oh, by the way, he hadn't let her learn English. So, what do you do then? Frances started a hair salon for Italian ladies. And she styled hair, and she raised her children, and when she was old, they took excellent care of her. My grandparents built a whole, really comfortable room for her in their house. And when I was a little kid, I'd go visit my grandparents, and Granddad's mom was there, sitting in the corner. She was like this tall, and she was in a rocking chair, and she would scoop me up in her arms and hold me and rock me and sing songs in like Italian or Sicilian, and it was so creepy, you guys. So creepy as a little kid. But there was something really special about like being on opposite ends of a century with somebody. And I felt really connected to Frances, and I've always felt, I'm a European mutt. I've probably got more German in me than Italian. I've got some Irish in there somewhere. But I think I've always felt most connected to my Italian heritage because I knew Frances, and because of the hair, obviously, but mostly Frances. So when I had the chance to go to Sicily, it felt important to me in a way I couldn't quite explain, but I knew I needed to go. So one night I was there, and I got lost on my way back to my hotel. Turned left when I should have gone right. I don't know. I was on a back alley, and it was pretty empty, but then a few people walked out of the back of some buildings, and then a few more, and then a few more, and suddenly the alley was packed, and it was all people pulling off their aprons, loosening their collars, and drinking heavily. And I realized it was because all of the restaurants were letting out. And all the employees were filling up this back alley. They were pulling up picnic tables. They were pouring wine and beers out of the back doors of restaurants. And they were just having so much fun, probably talking shit about how annoying all of us tourists are. But I was in the middle of this group of people. I'm walking down the street. It is so loud, it is so boisterous. I look around and I realize everyone around me is about 5'2". And they've all got big curly brown hair, and they're talking with their hands, and they have dimples, and they're laughing really loud. And I thought, I have never belonged anywhere as much as I belong on this street right now. And I was just filled with this amazing sense of belonging. And I will never forget that. And just to make sure I remembered, I put it in this song. This is a true story. I wanna eat carbs all day and all night, bury the box with the bad blue light, wanna log out, never come back, wanna wake up, finally relaxed. I wanna drive off with nowhere to go, sing along to bad radio. I don't wanna stop till I find the missing piece of my peace of mind. Wanna teach my dog to open a beer, see my mom more than twice a year. I wanna move out of the city, I wonder if the hum would miss me. I wanna ride on the Queen Mary 2, see the land great-grandma knew, sit in the sun with a gelato, watch everyone like a talk show, using their hands to chat in the street, just like my family, just like me. I wanna get lost in the crowd, curly and curvy and messy and loud. Spend your days, how you spend your life. I don't know about you, but I've been thinking about what I'd do. I'd go and eat carbs all day and all night, bury the box with the bad blue light. I'd log the hell out, never come back, finally wake up nice and relaxed. Thanks. I've started releasing new music recently. It's been 7 years since I've released an album, and I don't know how to release an album in 2026, so I decided to just try one song and see what happened, and I picked that one because nothing says lead single like 3-minute contemplation on one's heritage and desire to eat pasta. You know, we're just trying things out here, guys. All right, I have a quick question. Who has 2 thumbs and was arrested on Saturday? Yeah. I don't really know what to say about it. I haven't talked about it in public yet, but I was traveling home from Europe, and I was going through the Atlanta airport, and I was at the passport line, and they told me that I wasn't in the system and that they needed to do a secondary screening on me and had me go to some like scary police superdome downstairs underneath the Atlanta airport. And sure enough, after about 45 minutes of me waiting and asking for updates and trying to figure out what was going on, and this really friendly guy just repeatedly saying, like, I don't know, must be a paperwork issue, 2 police officers came and told me there was a warrant for my arrest in Georgia due to an unpaid speeding ticket from 2014 that I had no idea about. And, you know, I don't deny that I got a speeding ticket in 2014. I believe it. It's plausible. I've spent most of the last 20 years in the car. I've gotten some tickets, but I thought I had paid them all. But that wasn't a good enough answer for them. They handcuffed me and put me in the back of a police car. It was a very intense experience. I managed to get out of there that night. They let me pay my own bail. They were really nice about it, and I only realized at the very last minute that if they hadn't let me go to an ATM and get some cash and some change and pay my own bail, I would have been in jail until Monday at the earliest because the courts were closed over the weekend. So, you know, as it was happening, the officers were kind, and they said, you know, we're trying to get you through this as quick as we can. And, you know, one of them joked and said, you know, maybe you could write a song about this someday. And it was like, it took all my self-control. All I could say was, yeah, people always say that when something terrible is happening. But I do want to say that I managed to get home that night. I was released from police custody at 8 p.m. And I have Delta on speed dial, so they got me on an 11 p.m. flight home. I got a 2 a.m. Uber, and I woke up in my own bed the next morning. And I went on a walk, and I went down to the river at sunrise. I could not sleep. I had so much just adrenaline and caffeine in my system. And I sat there at sunrise, and I was listening to the river, and I thought about the women waking up in East Point Jail, which was the jail in Atlanta that I almost went to. And I wondered what they would be doing if somebody had tried for them, if somebody had said to them, like, hey, we're trying to get you out of here as quick as we can. And I realized, once again, how incredibly privileged I am. And I was relieved for my privilege, and I was embarrassed by my privilege, and I was ashamed for my relief. And I've just been thinking a lot about, that system. So I just am throwing it out there. I don't know if I should even be talking about it, but it's a real thing that happened less than a week ago. And I'm going to try and shoehorn this into an introduction to this next song, which is a song I wrote about how you never really know what someone's been through recently. And I was wondering one day what it would be like in the world if suddenly we all were granted omniscient powers to know everything about everyone we ran into. How would we treat each other? How would the world be different? And that was kind of the jumping off point for this song. Two stupid people got drunk, made a baby, fought her way out. Now she's this lady dressed to the nines, swearing in traffic she's not even late. Walks in with 2 coffees, gives 1 to Denise, who's working the night shift, dead on her feet. Breathes in the steam, gets lost in the swirl of the cream. Love echoes, love echoes, love echoes. She gets off at 11, picks up her daughter from the new neighbor who offered to watch her. Thank God that she did, 'cause daycare's expensive and rent is due. To Andrew, her landlord, who lives with his mother, who hasn't remembered his name since last summer. She smiles when she sees him and doesn't know why. He hums for Elise and she starts to cry. Love echoes, love echoes, love echoes. She was always a sucker for classic composers since back in the war, when her sweetheart was over there fighting against boys his own age who were following orders too. He wrote her a letter each week, maybe more, till his family awoke to a knock on the door. Parishioners gathered in North Carolina, alone in the back. She hummed in A minor, love echoes, love echoes, love echoes. So ask any kid with a brain and an anthill, she'll tell you that creatures divide up their land until everyone's king of their own little mountain, and nobody gives up a crown. So we all live behind these invisible lines of made-up inventions like money and time, and fighting for borders in unholy wars, humming as we can to ignore love. Echoes, love. Echoes, love. Echoes. Ooh, love. Echoes, love. Echoes, love. Thanks, guys. All right, y'all. It's time to get real crazy. You ready? We're going to drink this giant cartoon beer. No, we're not going to drink this giant cartoon beer. But I do need, and I say this recognizing fully that it's like number one fear of like all people, public speaking, more than falling off tall buildings or getting bitten by a snake. But I need a volunteer to come up here and take hold of this cartoon beer. And I will keep asking until someone does it. Can someone please come grab this beer? All right. What I'd like you to do, Vernon, if you don't mind, it's heavy, is take it to a couple of people and get three people to draw a piece of paper out of that. Can you do it? Or you can hand it to someone else and get someone else to do it. So we need 3 pieces of paper pulled out of the giant cartoon beer. I know I invoked snakes, but there's nothing in the cartoon beer that bites. There is only my terrible handwriting to contend with. All right, so if you don't know what's happening, we are playing a game called Song Roulette. You can pick the third one if you want, Vernon, if you didn't get a third volunteer. You took 2, okay. All right. Thank you so much for being my volunteer. Thank you. All right, so those of you who have slips of paper, yeah, let's get a round of applause for our volunteer. Thank you, Vernon. All right, who's got a piece of paper? Read me what it says. Anyone? Anyone?
Come as you are.
Oh, okay, interesting. You didn't get one? You got one. Oh, I already played that. Oops, I forgot that was in the bucket. All right, this is going great. This is really going very smoothly. Everything's fine. I'm the pilot of this ship. Do ships have pilots? No, planes. Planes have pilots. I'm the pilot on this plane. I say everything's fine. All right, did anybody else get a piece of paper? No. Great. I volunteer to pick 2 more. All right. I picked 6. I'm going to grab this one. And this one, and those go over there. All right, guys. So what we're doing, we're playing a game called Song Roulette. Because I've gotten to the point in my career where I have like 6 albums, 6 full-length albums, and 6 weird side projects, and just too many songs to play in a 75 to 90-minute set. Plus, I have all these new songs that I just played that I wanted to play. So I took all the songs that I wished I had time for and put them all in the big cartoon beer. And you guys are helping me write the set list. Now, I heard that one. Ooh, okay, this is a weird one. It's called Joy to the World, I guess. It's a deep cut. And who are you? Oh, yeah. Okay, guys, the cartoon beer is moody. The cartoon beer has some emotions, and we are going to get into all of them. All right. Except I need a second capo to play that one, and I don't have it. All right, great. So we have our choices. Do you want to know a weird fact, guys? This will only mean something to those of you who play guitar. All 4 of the songs picked by the... So sometimes the cartoon beer will pick, like, of the 20 songs that are in there, it'll pick, like, 3 songs that are all on the same record, which is a really weird coincidence. Tonight, it picked 3 songs that are all capoed in the 4th position. I know, thank you for laughing like that made any sense to you. I appreciate it. I told you you were the coolest folk music fans in Houston. I wrote this song with my friend Finlay Napier in Glasgow, Scotland, at his kitchen table. I had had a kind of rough year, And around the holidays, I had found myself playing my last show of the year on a snowy night in New Hampshire. And I was loading out after the show, and it was just this really like beautiful, picturesque night, and I was just in such a bad mood, you know? Like the holidays were coming, everyone was all holly jolly, and it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, and I was like, I'm not in the mood this year. But Christmas is relentless. You know, the holiday spirit comes whether you're ready for it or not. And I was just not ready that year. And then I'm packing up after the show, and I hear this ruckus on the other side of this picturesque town square in New Hampshire. And I look over there, and, you know, it's like a fresh layer of snow had fallen during the concert. Like, it truly couldn't have been more New England and more cute. And I was still in, like, a pretty bad mood. And I'm kind of a Care Bear, so a bad mood for me is, like, you know, maybe not that bad, but it was a bad mood for me. Anyhow, I was grumpy. And I look over across the square, and I hear this loud noise. I'm like, what is that? And I squint, and what do I see? I see 60 drunk Santa Clauses, all packed into a bar. And my local friend said, oh yeah, that's the Santa hang. Like every year, the Sunday before Christmas, all the mall Santas get together and get like totally blasted. And I'm looking at them, and they are like spilling out of the bars, and their Santa costumes are like, you know, they're unbuttoned down to here, and their bellies are all crooked, and their beards are falling off, and they're like holding one another and singing holiday songs and just having the best time. And I thought, you know what? If the sight of 60 drunk Santa Clauses isn't getting me into the holiday spirit, maybe it's just not going to happen this year. And maybe that's okay. So there on the square, I had the first seedling of an idea for this song. And it's basically about that relentless nature of the holiday season, how it comes whether we're ready for it or not, and how maybe the magic of the season is that we do our best anyhow. It's only weeks away, New Year's coming fast. We're writing resolutions though we know they'll never last. Like, listen more, talk less, and joy to the world, I guess. Jimmy Stewart says he'll lasso the moon. The popcorn's almost done, you know, we'll both be crying soon. Laugh more, ask less, and joy to the world, I guess. Happy whatever, merry you and I. Let's celebrate together tonight. Your folks are getting drunk, bite your tongue and smile. After old Lang Syne, you won't see him for a while. Love more, ask less, and joy to the world, I guess. Happy whatever, marry you and I. Let's celebrate together tonight. Holidays are hard, missing those who've gone. They hide in snowy shadows in the moonlight on the lawn. Still, we try our best to sing joy to the world, joy to the world, joy to the world, I guess. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never bracht a mind? Should all acquaintance be forgot and all lang syne? Happy New Year! So I never know where a song is going to come from. I'm not like a super disciplined writer. I do not get up every morning and like sit on a pillow and write in my dream journal and, you know, do 2 hours of writing exercises every day to keep myself in shape. No, I kind of just wait for the muse to come and knock me over the head and make a song happen. And sometimes you never know when it's going to happen. It could be the sight of 60 drunk Santa Clauses. Or it could be a dream in the middle of the night that you're like, I had this dream. It was a cold winter night in Austin, and I woke up at like 4 a.m. from a dream. And in my dream, I had been listening to a song on the radio, and it had a melody, and it had chords, and it had words, and it was pretty catchy. And I thought, I'll remember that. And then I start drifting off. And then I just like, the song gets longer and longer in my head, and suddenly now it has verses, and then it had a double final chorus with a really cool internal rhyme, and I was like, all right, I should get up and record this. So I got up, went to the other side of the room, grabbed my phone, and I recorded the song into my phone. Fell asleep and forgot about it for weeks, maybe months, like a long time. And then I was at the grocery store, H-E-B, what? And I'm like pushing my cart and like dancing to like weird pop music they're playing. And I just suddenly was like, wait, did I write a song in my sleep? Like I remembered it, and I start digging through the voice notes on my phone. And sure enough, there's one from, a few months ago, and it's called, it's like the name of the file. And I listened to it in the grocery store, and there is a song. And it's like muffled, but it's like all there. And I had to like listen to it and like get back into weird trancy dream state to like pull this song like out of the ether and into reality. And that is where the song came from. In case you were wondering what I'm thinking about in the middle of the night. Did a lot of bad things when I was young. Probably the worst of them I done were done to you. I held you in my hands and I didn't understand what I had to lose. You must think I am so small if you think of me at all. I came in like pile of dirt and trouble. We burned straight to the ground, and I didn't stick around to see if you were found among the rubble. Did a lot of bad things when I was young. Probably the worst of them I done were done to you. I held you in my hands and I didn't understand what I had to lose. I knew right from the start we were gonna fall apart, but I made my move. I made my move. Made my Snow, it piles and shifts, but time it melts and drifts and carries off the bits of what we could be. Shovel out my car, and I hope that wherever you are, you see we're all the stars of our own movies. Did a lot of bad things when I was young. Probably the worst of them I done were done to you. I held you in my hands and I didn't understand what I had to lose. I knew right from the start we were broken up with that guy for like 9 years. And if you had asked me, I would have told you I was completely done processing it. But apparently in the middle of the night, my brain had other things to say. So what I absolutely love, I'm doing these song roulette shows all year this year, mostly for my own amusement, but also because it means every night is different, and I've loved this part of the show because I usually end up playing 3 songs that otherwise wouldn't have been part of the night, and you just never know what's going to come up. So this next tune isn't always in the bucket. But when I was deciding what I might put up to chance, I decided to throw this one in there. It's been a little while since I've played it. I don't know if any of you guys know, but a long time ago, many moons ago, I was on the first season of The Voice on NBC. I was actually on the first episode of the show. I put that show on the map. I am very proud to say that since our mentorship, Adam Levine's career has really skyrocketed, and I'm just so proud of that boy. And I had such a bizarre experience on the show. It came to me a year after that moment I told you about, where I looked around and said, oh, I'm doing it. I'm a professional musician. So I felt like, I was gigging, I was playing shows, I was supporting myself with music, like just barely. I'd like just graduated from having to like give up my apartment in order to like afford to be on tour. But I didn't feel like I needed it. So I went into the audition. I got an email from my website inviting me to audition for this new show, and I never aspired to be on a national network reality singing competition. But I figured they wouldn't pick me because I'm, a folky singer-songwriter. I'm not like a giant, melisma, R&B acrobat, like riff singer, which is what I assumed all those shows were looking for. So I figured there was no harm in going to the audition with like a backpack full of my CD and being really friendly to everyone I met and like giving all the production assistants CDs and stickers, and like maybe someday one of them would run a movie studio and remember me fondly. Like that was my whole strategy. So I went, and I think I was so relaxed. I was so confident that I wouldn't get picked that I think it like accidentally came across as confidence. It's an audition strategy that I have never been able to replicate since. But it worked really well that day. And I got called back for an audition the next day, and then, I left, and they said, okay, well, if we want you, we'll call you back in a month. And I was like, okay, sure, yeah, I bet you say that to all the girls. Like, I had no expectation. I just went back out on the road. 28 days later, I was on tour, and I get a phone call from an LA number, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, they're calling to tell me I didn't get it. That is so nice of them. And I answered, and it was some PA saying that I had been picked, and it was like a Friday, and they wanted me on a plane to LA on Tuesday, and that we were going to do, one more round of casting for the lawyers, and then there would be something called a blind audition, which, the show was new. I thought that sounded sort of scary. And then if I made it through the blind audition, then I would stay for battle rounds. And I thought, well, that sounds terrifying. And they said, you'll be here for at least 4 days, possibly up to 6 weeks. Pack accordingly. I was like, sure. Anyhow, long story long, I ended up going out. I stayed the entire 6 weeks. I did a blind audition. I had the very surreal experience of like picking between 2 monster celebrities who had been famous for an extremely long time and listening to them say nice things to me. Auditioning for a reality show was really scary. I had been in hair and makeup for like 12 hours watching other people not get picked and like waiting for my turn to come. So at the end of my audition, after, I hear everybody talk, I make my big decision. We have this, Adam Levine and I do this slow motion run towards each other. I don't know if he started it or I started it. It was goofy and stupid. We get face to face. I've never told anyone this before. We're in the middle of this crowded arena, all these people screaming. And I say the first words that come to my mouth. I'm face to face, like nose to nose with Adam Levine. First words that come to my mouth are, I don't have any liquid in my mouth. And he just looks at me and says, you should do something about that. And that was basically the extent of my relationship with Adam Levine. That was certainly the highlight. Anyhow, it was the best advice he ever gave me. I'll just say that. So, anyhow, with no further ado, I'm going to play you a song that I had the great honor of performing on international television for 12 million people and 4 very judgmental pieces of furniture. hope you guys like this song more than the person I wrote it for did. Must be hard to be the smartest guy you'll ever know. Can't be fun to be too dumb to just let that go. You give when you ought to take. You push when you ought to pull away. Pass on your every turn. Laugh it all off until you're burned. Down, down, down to the wire. Down, down, down to the blue of the fire. Down, down, down to the wire, baby, down. The phones are ringing, but the birds are weighing down the lines. Your eyes are blinking, but your mind has flown 1,000,000 miles. You hide when you ought to see. You cry when you ought to show your teeth. Say what you want to hear. Fall like a warning on deaf ears. Down, down, down to the wire. Down, down, down to the blue of the fire. Down, down, down to the wire, baby, down. And of course it's been fun, but this course has been run. You can stand your ground, but it's holding you down. Down, down, down to the wire. Down, down, down to the blue of the fire. Down, down, down to the wire, baby, down, down, down to the wire. Down, down, down to the blue of the fire. Down, down, down to the wire, baby, down. Down. Thank y'all so much. I've just got a few more songs for you. I mean, I really could do this all night. It's my favorite thing to do, but you know, we're already pushing it pretty hard at the Late Show. I wrote this song when I realized I owed someone an apology. And if you ever can use it to get out of a jam, you're welcome to. I am aware I crossed a line, but you won't call me out 'cause you're too kind. I am aware I can be rude because the world I see bends to my view. It's just the way I've always been, a thug with dimples and a pen. I am aware I am a careless friend to you. I am aware I get away with 1,000 murders every day because I'm short and play it cute, a kind of tough but helpless little brute. But even so, that's no excuse to put a good man through such abuse. I am aware I've been a careless friend too long. I am aware I am a pet. you. Last year, I was invited to lead a trip to Scotland, which is sort of something people do now. You can go on vacation with your favorite folk singer. And I had been invited to lead trips like this in the past, but I'd always resisted because I am a secret introvert. I'm very comfortable with people. I am good at socializing, but I need to be alone in order to recharge this precious little battery of mine. And I didn't think that going on vacation with 20 folk music fans would allow me much privacy in which to recharge. But I was assured, oh, no, Rebecca, you're not a prisoner on this tour. You're a guest. And I decided to give it a try, and I had an absolutely wonderful time, because it turns out that people who like folk music and want to go to Scotland is like a self-selecting group of really interesting, cool people. So we had a great time. And one thing that was on the itinerary that I was really looking forward to, it was called a sing-along by the river. And I thought, oh, sing-along by the river, that looks fun. And I was really looking forward to it. It was like musicians are going to lead you in a sing-along by the river. And it was about an hour before the sing-along by the river that I was sitting at dinner with my mother, who came as my guest. By the way, that was the best moment of my professional life, being able to finally, after 20 years of unwavering support for my career, be able to repay my mom by taking her on a vacation to Scotland. So we're sitting at dinner, and I'm like, oh yeah, this sing-along by the river is going to be really fun. And then I realize, wait a minute, I'm the musician on this trip. I'm leading the sing-along by the river. So I put my napkin down and I said, Mother, if you will please excuse me. And I ran up to my room and started furiously making notes about every sing-along song I could possibly remember. And I had a little cheat sheet of notes, and it was old, weird, English folk songs my dad had sung to us as kids, and John Denver songs, and the Beatles, and just anything I thought this group of people might be able to sing with me. And then I went to the grocery store and I bought the weirdest named cookies I could find, because I figured everyone likes cookies, and if I ended up in a spot where I needed a minute to think about what song to lead next, I could say, would anyone like a jammy Dodger? And just pass around cookies, and it really worked a few times. Got me out of some jammy Dodgers. So anyhow, one of the best things about it was with this group of 20 people that I was traveling with, it turns out that we sang together really well. And there were no other professional musicians in the group, but I don't believe you have to be a professional musician in order to sing well, and I don't believe you have to actually be able to carry a tune on your own in order to be able to sing well as a group. I think that something mystical, something alchemical happens when people start singing together. Our voices take over and drift towards each other like magnets and create this interesting new voice that is the voice of the group. And the voice of that group was really fun, and we ended up singing together a lot on the trip, and this is one of my favorite songs that we sang together. So if you'd like to sing it with me, please join along anytime once you figure out what's going on. Oh, the summertime has come, and the trees are sweetly blooming, and the wild mountain thyme grows around the purple heather. Will you go? All around the blooming heather, will you go, lassie, go? If you're listening on the internet, they are really singing so loud in here. I know you can't hear them because it's only coming through my microphone, but it is a deafening chorus of beautiful voices. You really had to be here. I will build my love bower by yon clear crystal fountain, and around it I my favorite verse. It's kind of sassy in like a 400-year-old kind of way. If my true love will not come, then I'll surely find another to pull wild mountain time all around the purple heather. Will you go, lassie, will you go? And we'll all go together to pull wild mountain time all around the purple heather. Last chance. Will you go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to pull wild mountain time all around the blooming heather. Will you go, lassie, go? Thank you all so much. This has been a real joy. I want to thank Alan for doing sound and Shane for running the room so beautifully for so many years, and all the folks behind the bar and feeding us and taking such good care of us and keeping just one of the best clubs in the country running for such a long time. Thanks to everyone watching online, and thank you absolute most for you guys for coming out tonight and sharing your Thursday night. I'm just kidding. I knew it was Thursday. Yay! Y'all are wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to play one more song for you, and then I would love to hang out. I've got some CDs for sale. I've also got, if you're not like a CD person anymore, I've got my entire discography on a tiny thumb drive. I've got coloring books. I've got pins with my personal life motto. They say, "Be nice, damn it." I've also got earrings that say that. I've got vinyl. And the newest thing I have that I'm very proud of, that I would like to send each of you home with one of, is a tote bag that says curly and curvy and messy and loud. And if that appeals to you, if you get it, you get it. If you don't get it, they're not for you, and that's fine. All right. Oh, and I also have a newsletter. That's actually the most important thing, because I don't think we should trust our relationship to Mark Zuckerberg. So if you'd like to be my pen pal, sign up for the newsletter. I send out like a monthly-ish list of 10 positive news stories from around the world every month. It's called The Good Newsletter. And if you have any interest in traveling to Scotland with me next year, put a little S next to your name on the mailing list, and I'll just send you some information. I signed up for another trip in the July of 2027. We're going to the Isles, the Isle of Skye, and other cool places. So that'll be fun. Anyhow, come say hi. I want to be your friend. And I'm going to send you home with a pretty new song. We found sticks, we found stones, conquered holy lands and thrones. We found the nerve to tell ourselves there's not enough. We took fire in our hands, learned to aim it on command, turned away as we turned cities into dust. Love and war, only one worth fighting for, but the other keeps the score. Love and war, love and war, shake each other to the core. Love and war, love and war, love and war. You were born one cold night as your mother screamed and cried and pushed you across the threshold unaware. You look in her bloodshot eyes one day, kiss her hand goodbye and say you're off to keep her safe. All is fair in love and war, only one worth fighting for, but the other keeps the score. Love and war. all gone back to ground, grown up into trees and leaves and shade. If the people there below us ever come to know us, it won't be what we destroyed, but what we made. Love and war, love and war, only one worth fighting for, but the other keeps the score. Love and war, love and war, love and war, shake each other to the core. Love and war, love and war, love and war, love and war, only one worth fighting for, but the other keeps the score. Love and war, love and war, love and war, shake each other to the core. Love and war, love and war, love and war. Thank y'all so much. I've been Rebecca Loebe. This has been an absolute blast. Come say hi. Good night, guys.